It's like a Jordan Sparks song. One step at a time, there's no need to rush.
The sun is coming up, are you ready to go? We can take it right, we can take it slow. Yo.
Welcome back to the Road to Self-Love. It's your boy Paul Fishman, self-love coach and You Do You activist, here today with Kathrin Zenkina, aka the Manifestation Babe. And I'm just so honored to have you here on the road with me. Self-love is all about, embodying who you are and being unapologetically yourself. So with that, I'd love for you to introduce yourself.
My name is Kathrin Zenkina. I am all about self-love. I think that relates a lot to manifestation, and manifestation is all about creating the life that you want. So if you are brave enough to fully accept yourself and love yourself for who you are, then you will go after the life that you want unapologetically. I'm all about mindset. I'm all about manifestation. I'm really all about women's empowerment, and not just women. I empower everybody, but women tend to be attracted to the pink that I put out there.
Same.
I love to just help people and help people feel really good about themselves and make people feel special and make people feel worthy enough to say yes to themselves, and especially ask the question, the very important question of who am I living for, and am I living this life for me? And I think that everything that I do is filtered through that question. It's cliche, but it's so true. When your cup is full, then you're able to just pour out of your cup to other people. But if you are filling up your cup with other people's tea or other people's coffee, then you are just gonna run dry and you're gonna have absolutely nothing to give to the world.
Amen.
I mean, welcome to the show. Everything you said, I was just like, yep. That's beautiful. So I'd love to just take it back to a time when that wasn't your way of thought. Take me back to that time when it wasn't it.
Okay, so that was recent. So in October of 2015, it was pretty much when I would say my origin story is born, when I started to really question, what I'm here for. Up until that point, I come from an immigrant family, and immigrants tend to be all about the American dream, right? So it's all about, accomplishing your dreams and going after what you want and having the happy family and having a great job, having the house. The key to the American dream in my family was medical school. So my mom had a dream of going to medical school. She had me very young. We immigrated to the United States when I was just a year old. She was only 19. So that was passed down to me, of course. And anytime someone would ask, what is Kathrin going to be when she grows up? My mom would immediately say she's going to be a doctor. I thought that my whole life purpose was going to be to become a doctor, and that was just so ingrained in me. And I remember putting myself, I enrolled into the University of Washington, and I got my degree in biology, which I do not use at all today. In my junior year of college, while I'm still in this doctor mode and really focusing on what medical school am I going to go to, so around that time I actually scrolled past this woman on Instagram, and she was a doctor who was a resident at Harvard, talking about how she has this online fitness business that allows her to create income on the side while getting in shape, while inspiring other people to get in shape too. And I was into fitness at that time as well. So I was like, wait a second, if she can do all this, that is amazing. I'm going to be a doctor too. And if I could have this thing on the side that can help support me while I'm in medical school, this is a win-win-win-win-win. She kept saying, Kathrin, you have to do your personal development. And I was like, okay, I think it's that thing that I already do, because I've been into the law of attraction since I was 16 years old, not really understanding how to use it. I decided to get in the best shape of my life, learn how to run this online business, and do personal development every single day. And over time, I realized that I was obsessed with the personal development books, to the point where I would literally stop doing my homework and decide to read a book instead. And Stephanie, who is my mentor and still is my best friend today, She told me that I really needed to go to an event called Unleash the Power Within. I figured out a way to go to LA for the event that was in October of 2015. But he started asking a couple of questions. And I remember one of them that struck a chord with me was, it wasn't even a question. He just loosely mentioned, you're either in a relationship or you're planning your escape. And for some reason, that made me think, because I was in a relationship at that time. And I was like, interesting, planning your escape, that actually sounds kind of nice. And then later that night, out of nowhere, I just hear this voice, this really faint, quiet voice come through that basically asked, Kathrin, who are you living for? And I was like, that's weird, I just kind of ignored it. It was like, whatever. The next day, I got louder. And it just kept getting louder and louder and louder until I was like, Kathrin, who the fuck are you living for? The next day or that same day, the answer started coming to me. And I was like, wait a second. I am literally living my life right now according to everyone else but myself. I broke up with my boyfriend. I decided to move to Los Angeles. And then when I flew back home from the event, I told my parents that I'm not going to medical school. And so I remember being like, whoever is out there, I don't care who you are, I need a sign. And I need it fast because I'm losing my mind right now. I was like, show me 11:11. I looked at the microwave and it showed 11:11. The time was 11:11. And I was like, oh my God, this is a thing. That same day, my best friend and I are getting like frozen yogurt or something. And she starts reading my horoscope to me. And in that horoscope, it says, hey Libra, because I'm a Libra.
Same.
Yay! So it was like, hey Libra, you just made a big decision in your life this week. Trust that it's the right one. And your whole life is about to like open up. And I was like, wait a second.
What?
The next day we went to a tarot reading. The psychic was like, basically confirmed everything that I felt. And I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. And then the last sign that I got that was really like, whoa, was, I was waiting in line for the bathroom at a cafe that I was hanging out with my best friend. And then I opened up my email, and right at the very top was like a newsletter. There was no subject line indication or anything like that. That's like, you need to read this email. I just felt like I was about to delete it, and then I just felt like I needed to read it. And so I open it, and again, it's like, you have made a huge decision in your life this week. Trust that it's the right one. Long story short, still working on that business, that fitness business. I moved to LA on my grandma's couch, and after some time, I started getting this nudge. And this nudge to just start something different. And I started to recognize this nudge when I started to get frustrated with people reaching out to me being like, Kathrin, how do I get abs? How do I lose weight? Because at that point I'm like, guys, it doesn't matter. Everything is mindset, right? This is all just a mindset. I scrolled past an Instagram post that day, lying on my grandma's couch, that said, it was by Tony Robbins, and it said, live as though your prayers have already been answered. And what if you can actually manifest your dream life in the next year or 2 years or however long it takes? And I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna play this game.
I love that.
And so Manifestation Babe essentially became my journey of just sharing what is working, what is not working, what am I learning. It just became like me answering to my audience and me growing my audience because I just kept giving them value and answering their questions around the law of attraction and manifestation. And as I grew my life and as my business grew, I was able to help more people.
Well, I think that since, Manifestation Babe was all a game at the beginning, it's a perfect time for us to play our first road trip game.
Hell yes.
Hell yes. I would love to play what I'm going to call the manifestation game. I'm going to say like a thing, a feeling, or whatever, and in 5 words or less, I want you to tell me like a mantra or something to manifest it. So, a new relationship.
Okay. I am in love with the person who is perfect for me. That's
Close.
more than 5 words, but that's the best I can do.
A new job.
You know what? Actually, the most powerful way to manifest is to put a thank you in front of what you want. Oftentimes, it's as simple as thank you for the perfect job.
How about more freedom in your life?
I would say freedom is about expansion, and I would say freedom has a lot to do with letting go of what no longer serves you. Thank you, universe, for helping me create the space in my life for more freedom.
Love it. You didn't win, but everyone else won, like I said. So thank you for indulging me in that fun little new road trip game I just thought of on Off the Cuff. So, you know, I realized that we kind of skipped a really important thing, which what even is manifestation?
The way that I describe it is when the phenomenon that occurs when something that was once initially a part of your imagination or a part of your mind becomes actualized into your physical reality. And how that happens is via several different universal laws, which the one that people are most familiar with is the law of attraction, where like attracts like. What you put out, you attract back into your life.
What's some like first steps if someone's like, oh, okay, manifestation, I get it. Like what are some first steps for beginner manifestors?
Yes. I've condensed it into 3 steps. Step number 1 is to define what you want. I call it like the private island mentality. And what I mean by that is, for a moment, you have to imagine that you are by yourself on a private island, figuring out what is it that you want. If nothing or no one else mattered, what would you want? Step number 2 is the most important, and this really integrates quantum physics, which I'm not brilliant yet at explaining how quantum physics works. Embody the version of yourself who's already at that outcome. So who is that version of yourself who is already in that dream reality? That leads me into step number 3, which is, what is the first piece of action that you can take today to become that version of you? That's actually doing it, like actually taking the action. Like, what is the first step?
The car that we're driving in right now has been on my vision board since 2015.
Mine was on my vision board since 2008. So it's been on my vision board for 10 years. You know, you have to appreciate what you have. You have to be grateful for what you have and acknowledge what you've created so far. But that doesn't mean that you have to stop there.
Ooh, I think it's time for our next road trip game, though.
Let's do it.
We're going to play Fuck, Marry, Kill.
Okay.
Fuck, Marry, Kill, mantras, angel numbers, journaling.
Ooh. Okay, I would kill angel numbers, and here's why. Because sometimes angel numbers can be too much of an external certainty. Like, it's too much of an external validation. Like, I think you should always understand that it's only your self-validation that matters, and if you find the certainty within yourself, like, that's all you really need. And so sometimes people are looking almost too obsessively for their sign. I like mantras more, so I would say marry, and then I would say fuck journaling, because I don't do it consistently every single day, but I think it's one of the best tools for self-discovery.
So, you know, if people are totally vibing with you, they're just like, ooh, I gotta learn all the things that Kathrin teaches, like, what's their first steps? What do you recommend?
Okay, my website is definitely the hub for everything. It's manifestationbabe.com, but where I actually hang out and interact, I would say my Instagram at manifestationbabe, and my podcast as well, which is the Manifestation Babe podcast.
One more question for you.
Yes.
What does self-love mean to you?
Self-love means to me full self-acceptance and full self-acceptance of the fact, and I call it a fact because I believe this to my very core, that you are the universe choosing to have an imperfect human experience, and you were never meant to be perfect. And if you are constantly striving to be perfect and only willing to love yourself when you're perfect, that is never going to happen, because you were perfect before you incarnated. You will be perfect after you leave because your soul is perfect. But right now, it's time to fuck up and have fun.
That was beautiful. I love that. Thank you so much for joining us on the road to self-love. It really just means so much to me that you were willing to get into the car with a stranger.
Thank you,
and
Paul.
drive around and trust me to keep you safe.
Of course.
We'll see you next time on the road to self-love. Bye.
Bye.